Hello, hello, I'm Rangru,
And I'm Graham.
and today with another 1v1 from the Wargame Bootcamp Discord trained tournament. We are on a mud fight, and who do we have playing?
On the left-hand side rank, we have Grumpy Snark playing as Eurocorps General. And then on the right, we have Cutest Princess playing as USSR General.
Yeah, and Cutest Princess really going out for the super weapons early on, KA-52, a bloody T-80 UK command tank, SU-25, a MiG-25, not a whole lot of, ground-based, forces to capture territory, but a lot of potential killing power.
Yeah, he's got the GRU inside the BTR-90. He's got the SU-25 here trying to get some gun runs. Oh, it gets one
Oh!
Kurtal. Misses doesn't get the second one. And the Roland does hit it. It's down to 1 HP, but it should be able to get... Yeah, it's going to get out there.
Ow. That's SU-25 once again acting as seed.
Yeah, that was a really, I'd say it was a decent engagement for it. If he had killed the other Kratal, I think it would have been a lot better. The K-52 is going to get pushed back here a little bit. It's got to be careful, but the UK is going in hot.
Yeah, it's going to be leading from the front pretty much, which is a very ballsy maneuver. It also has a ridiculous amount of command vehicles, considering it's a 1v1. But a lot of tanks, so hopefully they don't get blown up.
Yeah, well, already there's a Peace Ryan coming out here, but there is smoke being dropped down. But he still says C, and he does take a hit there, so 4 HP off right away. MiG-25 does not intercept either. Oh, no, it does.
Well, maybe the KA-52.
Okay, well, something killed it.
Yeah. But damn, pretty crazy opener so far. I mean, you've got the Spetsnaz and other Spetsnaz going at it.
Kratal also does end up killing that K-52 because he left it in the same spot. So Cutest Princess actually lost, it's a pretty expensive piece of equipment. See the UK here pushing up, hitting the AMX-13s as a Milan 3 tries to go ahead and engage, but it should be able to back into the smoke.
Yep, and good use of smoke, because you really are going to need that for that T-80 UK, bringing in some supplies to give them a bit of R&R. And that's all just really on the Delta Alpha axis here. It's all for the village.
Yeah, we see some grinding here going on, but the GRU shouldn't have going down. There's the Chasseurs in there paired with the Legion 90. And actually, Grumpy Snark's going to want to resupply. And yeah, you see a Jupiter coming up here. He's going to repair those Legion 90 if possible. Yeah, more Chasseurs going to engage. So he should end up taking this town here, and was going to force Cutest Princess, I think, maybe reevaluate his T80 UK placement.
Yeah, I mean, Cutest Princess did have a decent amount of firepower, but it doesn't really have the numbers to effectively get into that town. And Grumpy Snark definitely has better, central map control. Ooh.
Yeah, big hit there by the Legion 90. Peace Ryan coming in as well, cleaning it up. TUK goes down. MiG-25 does try here to intercept this Peace Ryan. He got one hit, second hit, getting the kill there. So both Peace Ryans gone, but the T-80 UK dies.
Yeah, it's just lost the most expensive ground unit in the game. I'm sure Cutest Princess will be fine.
I mean, hey, it's a princess. They got that power.
They do. They got the money. Power. Royal stage.
Yeah. That's true. They do got that big royal cash. You can't underestimate that. Well, we do see the VDV are pushing up here. They have he brought him in the BTRD. A lot of times you see him in the Screzit. He's bringing a Screzit out with an ATGM. And you see some 2As are being smoked off, but they're not really. Yeah, there he goes. He's going to commit him now. Okay.
Yeah. A little bit less heavy-duty firepower, but there's not a whole lot of scary anti-tank nearby. Yes, to worry about apart from that Tigra head.
Yeah, I mean it's a little weird, honestly, because you see the Legion here. You would think he would want to back them up there. You don't want them dying. You still have two, so you can get them back up to full HP. Yeah, that Had's coming up here to try and dissuade these T-72s. I mean, it feels like Grumpy Snark here has a massive advantage. He just needs to take see if he takes a massive lead. Needs to take advantage of it.
Yeah, he really needs to start getting some units into Alpha here to really, take advantage, so to speak, of just getting into the southern forest and that, or the northern forest in Alpha, just to try and get some better control. Because if he can completely control Alpha from here, you can knock out a supply line, and that pretty much seals the deal on the southern flank.
Yeah, I mean, and also, he could look into capping. I mean, he killed so much stuff there at the start. K-52 goes down, T-80 UK goes down, double BTR 90 with Spetsnaz GRU. Like, that's a lot of points dead for no gain there for Cutest Princess. So capping behind that isn't necessarily a bad idea either.
Oh, that would not be a bad idea, but I feel like Cutis Princess is a little bit ahead of the curve in regards to the Alpha offensive.
Yeah.
Send in the T-72s and pretty much a lot of, cheap infantry reinforcements, because that's all he can really afford right now to try and get into that zone.
Yeah, getting into Alpha is smart. Like you talked about there, we see an AMX 10 RC kind of pushing up into Alpha there. But Q's Princess flexing a little bit here, trying to get in that position, maybe cut off reinforcements into the town there, because a frontal assault on the town isn't really what he wants to do, I think, at this current time.
Yep, but Cutis will be the first run invested in a CV, and actually getting some more defenses into Foxtrot. So he is going to be the one getting that point lead.
Yeah, he clearly feels comfortable despite the heavy losses here, and that's largely because Grumpy Snark hasn't had anything to exploit his success with. So we see the AMX 10 is going to engage with 272s. It actually will probably lose this fight here. Oh, no, it misses, though. So it might actually get out alive. Yeah, and there comes some smoke to cover it. Legion haven't been even fully repaired. Only 3 HP actually brought up for him. Yeah, actually, I like Cutest Princess as a position now.
Yeah, that T-72 position gives very good fire support onto the town. If Cutest Princess was to maybe do another, decent offensive onto that town, they could take it back.
Yeah, he needs something, I think, to deal with the Tiger had. There's really nothing in front of him here that he has. I see he's calling on Osa. The Skreza getting blapped right there by a Milan F3. So I don't know if he can quite push the town just yet, Rank, with that had in position, but pretty soon.
Yeah, no, he's just using the basic cheap Osa, which I like quite a lot. It's a very cost-effective anti-aircraft piece.
Yeah, I like. You also sometimes see guys bring them in like double, like they'll buy two
yes.
of the cheap Osas and just keep them there together and let them kind of just hang out. We see the SU-25 has been brought back out, so it is fully repaired because it was on 1 HP, and it's diving in here right now. Going for a supply truck, yeah, gets the kill there, but there's a Cortal and a Roland 3, and that was not worth it, and the SU-25 is going down.
Oh, that was not worth it at all. I mean, I understand trying to slow down supply for the infantry reinforcements in the town, but okay, it's going to be following up, it seems, with another infantry push. I believe that's going to be some more VDV.
Yeah, he's going to bring out more VDV. It looks like Recon with the MI ATVs, which are great for infantry fire support. He's brought his Leclerc up here as well, plus Panzergrens and the Martyr 2s. So his Spetsnaz is going to die out here in the open for no real gain. Yeah, MI8's coming in as well, launching their rockets.
Yeah, Leclerc's pretty much just going to come in and shut down that fight, as Grumpy Snark has been able to bring in quite a lot of heavy-duty firepower. And especially killing the SU-25, it definitely gives Leclerc a little bit more safer room to maneuver.
Yeah, he's now the big boy in the battlefield. The TUK's been killed. You just mentioned it, right? The SU-25 is dead, which is something you'd want your SU-25 for to kill instead of a 20-point Jupiter truck. But yeah, this is where we're at.
It's where we're at indeed. And then it's really just a fight over his village. Honestly, I kind of risk Cutis didn't commit at a certain rate for the infantry reinforcements to come in before attacking.
Yes.
Just to have one big attack. Because then he probably could have had, got the Spetsnaz into the town. And then with those RPOs, they cause all sorts of havoc.
No, they're perfect for those little town fights like that. Instead, though, he prematurely committed his troops. And so he lost, a couple expensive units there. He is flexing further down, though, in Alpha with his VDV, BTR-90, and some more Resvetka, I believe, coming up in the MI8 TV. But there's a strong assault force here for Grumpy Snark Rank if he wants to counterattack this Alpha advance.
Yeah, he has, mainly since the Panzer Grenadiers and the Marder 2s, I can deal with the majority of threats down here. Heck, even the T-72s if they decide to get a bit close enough.
Yeah, the Martyr 2 is an absolute unit when it comes, when it comes to being an IFV in this game. 7 frontal armor, 5 side. It's got that, that 50. It's got that nice little 50mm autocannon that just shreds things. So yeah, it could definitely go toe to toe with those C-72s up close and personal.
It's a shame they never made it.
Yeah, big letdown, Germany.
Oh.
They just one thing with the Germans, they'll just keep letting you down.
Yeah. It's like
but that Martyr gets instantly blapped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, even using the Facatorias.
And we also see a Jurgen. He's firing, so he fired 8 shots right there with the Jurgen now coming out here. though he's going to miss the Panzergren. It's a direct hit there on the Martyr too, so doing a little bit of damage, but nothing to the Leclerc.
And not really all that advantageous yet. T-72's coming in hot.
Yeah, they're
finish off the Martyr 2s.
Yeah, they should be able to get a side shot here, but they miss in T-72A fashion.
Yep.
Some counter battery there by trying to get the roll in. It doesn't get it, but it does panic it and takes off over half the HP. And where's the Kratal, actually?
I think it might have got blapped.
Yeah, it got blapped somewhere by something. Yeah, so that's dead. And we actually see Q's Princess. I mean, he's got, Alpha, almost under his control here. We see these VDV-90 engaging the base Panzergren here. If the Screzit pushes up, it could go ahead and find a little fire support for it. Yeah, and it will right there. You see those ESU little autocannon just instantly shredding into those Panzergrens.
Gonna be a good time for the Panzergren dates, but it definitely feels like Grumpy Snark kind of lost the momentum of that initial, engagement where he blew up so much heavy equipment. He still has the Leclerc, which is, quite a powerhouse, and he's using it a bit more aggressively. But there's still more SU-25s, which can potentially be brought in. Not anytime soon, it seems, as we are investing, or Cutest Princess is investing in the BMPT. But really, they need to do something about that Leclerc.
Yeah, that's that really is anchoring Grumpy Snark's position here. He did cap Charlie, by the way, so the point take isn't actually anything big for Cutest Prince. It's only 38-0 here as we, hit this 28-minute mark. This Leclerc is pushing up pretty aggressively here. One T-72A goes down, but Facatoria did hit it in the front, so it's down to 2 HP. All right, it's lost 2 HP, excuse me.
Enough to ward it back, and that's what I love about the cheap ATGMs. I think are very much... Oh, SU-27M! Forgot he also had that as well. And
yeah, he needs to be careful, though, because the Roland 3 is still alive. Kratal's been brought in there. Yeah, and so that SU-27 dives in. I actually think it tried to hit a transport.
It did. It's AMX-13.
Yeah.
Very dangerous with that 50 cal.
It's a critical threat on the battlefield currently. And there's a Rafale brought out.
Smart move. He definitely needs some more active air defense.
It's expensive, though.
It is expensive. But really, airplanes are going to be the major threat, because SU-27Ms or SU-25s will be the main killer of that Leclerc. Unless, he also can bring out a, what's it called? T-72BU.
He's got BU.
Yeah. Well, I think after his previous experience of using super heavy tanks, he's a bit wary of doing that. Oh, BMPT goes down to Legion 90s.
Yeah, Legion getting a nice kill there on the BMPT out in the open. The BMPT can be such an effective infantry support vehicle, but you can't have it charging a town that has ATGMs just ready to go right there.
Yeah, and I think Grumpy's managed to Reveille Storm, and it's in a pretty good position now. It's managed to kill a lot of Cutest Princess's units in that initial attack.
Yeah, I'd imagine here he's going to go on the offensive a little bit towards Alpha, and that's what he should do. Clear Alpha out, then he can cap it at his leisure, and that pretty much seal the game here, I think, for him if he made that move. But so we see some Chasseurs slowly pushing up here. T-72A backing up because there's really not much to contest his infantry. He's got a Martyr 2, he's got AA, he's got smoke for his Leclerc. Those Leclercs going in the opposite direction of Alpha.
Yep. Gonna be trying to get more towards the center.
I guess he's going for the Screzit?
Or maybe the Podnos. They could definitely kill Screzit.
But he is exposed right now. He's wide out here in the open. There's no smoke coming down yet.
That's
there.
The
smoke now hitting, and it's 27 doesn't commit. Play a little cat and mouse game there, Ring.
It is. It's very back and forth. And just like with the other games from the train tournaments, usually the players are a little bit slower compared to, elite tournament in terms of movement and aggression. Like, Grumpy Snarky is definitely very paranoid, it seems, for actually committing to any full-blown push. But as we know, we have God Vision, to be fair. But, it's just about that momentum and feeling the enemy front line. Because if he was to commit a good push for the northern part of Alpha, there's not a whole lot here to stop him, especially if he uses Leclerc and smoke effectively.
No, he could absolutely wipe the floor with an Alpha if he wanted to. It's all. I think a lot of it, when you talk about like the upper level, down to like the hard and train level, it really comes down to I think pacing, it's feel of the game, right? Like you have good, you obviously know what the game is, you know how to play it, you understand what these different units do. But a lot of times, like you see those upper level players, they really just have an amazing feel for the game, and that's what allows them to be so I think quick and dynamic with their movements.
Yeah. We're seeing Grumpy trying to commit to an offensive attack here, but the Facatorias against this APCs are performing quite well.
Yeah, one of them does actually end up running out of ammo there, so it's fired all 6 of its AGMs to the other one from the side, trying to hit these Vabs that have now pushed up here. More VDV coming into the forest line. The Jurgen all the way. I don't know what it's doing all the way over there, Ray.
Just going for a bit of a drive.
Like he was on vacation right there. Yeah. Honestly, I've been watching someone else play a lot recently, and he's been using the 203 artillery to good effect, kind of like the same way players use the Jurgen. And at first I thought that might be dumb, but then I kind of I watched it a little more, and it's actually very effective. Like using like a Malka or a peon to do like heavy, like to engage infantry, do like heavy artillery damage. It's cheaper, and you just kind of keep it around your fob, and it seems to do actually a pretty good job.
And it's also very good at counter-battering like anti-aircraft pieces, especially if you're trying to play the air game. Just being able to launch a shell from the hand of God right on top of a Crotale can be quite nice.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And it seems like the Jurgen, and we've noticed it before in cast, like people buy Jurgens and they never get remotely the value out of it, right? Because it's kind of hard, I think, to use. And that may seem dumb on the surface, but you really need to time, I think, your attacks well with it so that way you're getting the maximum value out of the stun damage that it's doing. And a lot of times you just see players dump 6 rockets and they never do anything in that area again.
Yeah, you need to time it well. Kind of like with, rocket artillery and Steel Division. It's not so much you have to kill, you just want to stun everything up and then immediately follow up with a counterattack where everyone has taken some morale damage. But most people, I think it's decent if you're, in this case, we're just trying to shell the backline of Delta where things are so bunched up, especially anti-aircraft units. But it's not, yeah.
No, and so then I think, though, like, if you're going to use, like, a heavy rocket artillery piece to try and kill valuable pieces of equipment, why not just buy the Smirch then?
Yeah.
Just cough up the extra points and use it to kill the, which is why then I would say, because I don't necessarily like that idea either, but if you're going to use the Jurgen that way, I feel like it's kind of a misuse of its abilities in the game.
Yeah. Or you could use the Smirch at the start of the match to just really piss off your opponent if you want to.
I mean, who doesn't like doing that?
That's the whole point of Wargame.
Don't you play team games?
No, what I do is I have an auto count and I only helicopter rush on it.
Really?
Of course.
I've never seen your
Danish support.
Only Danish support.
Support helicopter rush.
That's hot, actually.
Yeah. I don't get much success, but it's about the effort.
Well, your viewers would be happy to know that you're a Danish support helicopter cheeser in the rate pool. Well, we do see outside of your shenanigans, Ring, a BU has been brought out here by Cutest Princess. Both of them have aircraft up, hovering in the air here. I'm kind of just waiting for some giant air battle to occur over Delta. And both sides are just building up, Ring. It's like they're both each building up for an offensive.
Yep. It's really just the build-up phase, really. And it's going to be down to Cutest Princess to actually make the offensive happen. Grumpy's got the +1 for Leopard 2 into Delta. Yep. And, it's going to come down to good use of that BU.
Yeah, I really don't like what Cutest Princess has kind of done here, because it felt like he had a good, so I felt like at one point Grumpy Snark had the ability to really solidify Alpha. He ceded that initiative to an extent to Cutest Princess. But now Cutest Princess kind of has this weird, shaped line, right? And we can see it, you kind of even going in here, these BMD2s just advancing forward. No recon in front of them. Yep, it just gets instantly blapped by the Legion here. Smoke being dropped. What was that one? What's that right there? Was that transport?
I think it's just transport.
Yeah. So that BU, he's engaging, kind of backing up forth with each other. The clerk is being pushed up as well. So we now see a little more skirmish. Oh, another BU being brought out.
Oh, He is going, like, heavy-duty firepower here. I mean, this could work out. 2 super heavies versus 1, but all it takes is 1 peace rain to bring the peace.
But both peace rains are dead.
Oh! I forgot to count. You're incorrect. Yeah, it's not really much threat, because the Tigger Hadge aren't really that scary. The ATGMs aren't amazing. And the BU can just kind of harass at long range of ATGM fire if need be.
Yeah, I mean, so it comes down to a point here, I think, where the BUs are going to use them as kind of like a sledgehammer, right? To break through the front here. This Leclerc actually pushing up a little exposed here outside of its smoke. Shot fire from the BU that does miss. Leclerc backing up. It does get a hit on the BU, bringing down 2 HP. Oh, and the gun was turned off by Cutest Princess, so you fire the ATGM, but that's too close range for that kind of shenanigan.
Yeah, and the gun does more damage.
Yeah. Like, I understand using the ATGM for the range if you're microing it at that 2,400 meter range, but at that close of engagement range, you need the gun on.
Yeah. We're seeing Grumpy invest in some more attack helicopters, a Tiger 2, and some ATGM infantry, because that is that's a scary threat. That's all. Yeah, it's like just about 300 points, over 300 points of 350 points. I can do math of heavy Soviet armor.
I can do that math.
I can do math sometimes.
Yeah, we see the BUs here pushing up. The BMPT is also kind of in support, but it's not going to be of any use really in an armor-on-armor engagement here. But Grumpy Snark actually backs up, doing some break of another 2A1. I am a big fan of the 2A1 at 100 points. Though I think maybe just saving and having double Leclercs for this fight might be a little bit better going against the BUs. But if he can obviously leverage the numbers, it'll work out.
Yeah. It's going to need a whole lot of firepower. I mean, Cutest Princess bringing in a KA-52. Probably more for reconnaissance support. There's not a whole lot for him to really seed. Especially against Eurocore, you're just going to get crit-out first.
Yeah,
you can really seed.
Yeah, it's more just, I think, for vision and, support there. But I do agree with you. Like, honestly, a 5-point, a Resvedka recon squad pushing in the forest line would be better, I think, just the K-52, because it's not going to really won't be much for it to pick off. I mean, there is a rolling 3-way in the back there, but there's also Kratal in front of it. And like you said, Rang, Kratal is like the heavy-duty AA piece for most Eurocore decks.
Yep. It's U27M. Yeah, I feel like it's just going to be a massive rating game as both sides hide behind their big smoke clouds before someone gets cocky and makes the move.
Yeah, we're in that phase here. It's kind of like in Steel Division where both players were Maverick and they're now down to 80 points, and it's that. But here at least they're building up. They're building up to something. So the Jurgen does drop here, but it stuns the Leopard, but it doesn't stun the Leclerc. The other Leopard's coming up here as well. So not really much gained with this Jurgen so far.
Yeah, it's just picked off like an empty supply truck, which is not entirely ideal. Second strike, I think he tried to artillery the helicopters, which got some good stunning hits, but nothing to actually blow them up. And then the third strike...
that one helicopter is flipping out. That's like me and War Thunder trying to fly a helicopter. Like, he's going crazy right up there.
But yeah, the Oregon has just been pretty disappointing so far.
And he saved up... Q's Princess saved up by 2 T-64 BVs. So, BV coming out. BV, I'm a huge fan of actually, Rang. I like the BV a lot because of the 260, the 2,600 meter range, and the Agona does get 22 AP. So it's actually a pretty nasty tank, but I feel like you got to utilize its strengths. I don't know if you want it going CQC with the Leopards and the Leclercs.
Yeah, maybe just behind the T-72 BUs just for ATGM fire support.
Yeah.
But it's gearing up to be a big tank battle soon. Just the amount of armor being brought in. But it's just working well for Grumpy Snark's favor. They don't have to attack. They're going to be bringing up a CV into Alpha, which is going to force a +2. Or really, it's just going to force Cutest Princess to try and sneak something into Alpha.
We're waiting for Ghetto Kursk to go down.
Yes.
We see these.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you have a giant armor engagement of 4 tanks in the middle of the map. I mean, Grumpy Snark, he could pull a page from Cutest Princess and bring his Leopard 2 command tanks up too. Just make it a giant party.
Yeah, we could. You gotta lead by the front, you know. I mean, command vehicles in this game give morale bonuses, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's why they command.
Yeah, we see them both here. As we've said numerous times, the viewers, I'm sure, will let us know in the replay or in the comments that we talked about the long build-up phase here between the two players. Tunguska M actually been caught for cutest princess all the way over by the town towards Foxtrot. It's kind of weird. I mean, I guess he wants to kill the tigers, but they're not remotely threatening that.
Okay, I kind of see it for like trying to get a good angle on the tigers. I mean, as we can see with our gold vision, if they were to move up from that town towards the tigers, they can easily pick them off before getting into ATGM range.
Yeah, and the tiger, the PAH2 could see it before it gets in range.
Yeah.
Well,
we do rolling free.
You got the F4, and he's got his F4 up, MiG-25 up, and both players kind of like they're waiting out here. They're gonna wait it out. 14 minutes. I guess this is a good time to talk about, Rang. This was a big day in Eugene, a big week in Eugene World.
Oh yes, yes. We got Lannes and time of recording Lannes and the raid on Devar only took what, a year and 4 months.
Yeah. So I tried out both. I disliked both. Though I will say the idea that you can helicopter drop like artillery in Warno is really cool. Like I thought that was actually a super cool creation, super cool addition to the game for viewers that maybe watching that are looking at it. But I hate the forward deploy stuff. So I'm like, that's cool on one hand, but then I hate this basic mechanic. So
yeah, yeah, it's a weird mechanic, man.
And then I brought up a battery. I basically had 5 D30s in the game. Like they have towed D30s. That's so cool in an RTS, and they did no damage. So
rip.
Big rip to me and my plans.
Big rip indeed.
I want to,
early access.
Early access indeed. As we see, back to the actual game here. Milan getting a shot on that T-72A, bringing down to 1 HP. The armor was brought over from the town into the Alpha area here, I think, to get a little bit better angle. And this Leclerc and Leopard just going to town. But this Leopard is brought up very close to this VDV 90. That's an RPG 29 he's playing with there. Shot out, and it does get the kill there right as it dies. And that's a danger. You don't want to push VDV 90 unsupported on that situation and doesn't commit.
Yep, we got the Arrogant Strike. I think this is going to be the attack. This may force Cutest Princess to actually take the lead and attack. I mean, with 12 minutes left, he's down 170 points, and it's a +2 bleed. You kind of need to invest in CVs and get the offensive going.
Yeah, this is obviously the time, the time to strike if you're Cutest Princess, because the +2 will quickly get out of control here. So we see T-64 BVs in the back line trying to support the VDV here, which is just something he's done multiple times. One squad of 10 trying to get into town just isn't what you want when you want to smoke that place off, dump infantry in that town. I mean, he'll get in there, I think, through brute force there, but it's still just 8 men.
Yeah, we saw at Legion 90s there, and they're going to be holding that place like Gabrielle.
Yes, they're for those that didn't know. Well, actually, the Legion weren't on
is it
Gabrielle.
Beatrice?
They're on Beatrice,
yeah. See, I get my French mistresses. I mean, Hill was wrong.
Yeah. And they didn't hold it either.
No. Well, I don't think they're going to hold this down. Well, maybe.
Yeah. Helicopter goes down there. Leclerc aiming at something. Oh, kills the BMPT. The BV's now pushing up and engaging. Oh, firing target. Computer reset, though, crit. 1 BV. Now the Leopard and the Leclerc both engaging. Though I'd like to see some smoke here for this Leclerc.
Yep, needs to back off.
SU-27M now being committed. BUs, I thought they were going to go in, but an F3 shot is going to go ahead and dissuade them. Oh, was that a side shot on the BU from the F3, bringing it down 3 HP?
Must have been. We got the BU just trying to ATGM the Martyrs as it backs off. Now, it's such a shame. If he just commits more infantry to his assault, he could capture his town at such a huge anchor point. But he also doesn't have a lot of infantry in his deck. He's actually only taken 4 cards of infantry. which is quite weird, really. You always take like infantry is the tab you always fill up, like no matter what deck you're
Right.
playing. Unless
No,
yeah.
yeah. No, absolutely. I totally agree with you. You always want a full infantry tab, and it's hurting him big time here. I mean, this BTR 80s probably has a squad of Spetsnaz in it, but it's going to get engaged in the open there by the Vavs, right? And so now these Spetsnaz are in the open, getting hit by 20 mil from these Vavs, plus the 50 mil from the Martyr. And the Leclerc, oh, he hasn't even repaired the Leclerc. He's just sitting it right now.
All send. And 2 T-72 PUs are in a good spot. The 2 T-64s backed up a bit. And that Leclerc is going at it.
Yeah, he got really lucky there. He did get a hit on the BU, so he brought it down another HP point. But the BUs, one of them missed, so the Leclerc is still alive here.
Oh. And I even know, like, Grumpy Snark doesn't exactly have the ground firepower. Like, he just has very good map positioning in the center. And the T-72 BUs can't push up far enough to support the infantry attacks into the town, really. So the infantry attacks are pretty much unsupported, and they just get hammered by all the lovely Eurocorps infantry. Oh,
yeah,
Tunguska M, what are you doing, buddy? Just got F-freed. Rip. Big
Did
rip.
it kill the helicopters?
I'm going to say yes. So
it did
something.
What? How did they...
Long-range missiles.
Oh, no, I got that. I'm just curious how he didn't see the Tunguska. But, yeah, the helicopters went down.
Yeah, Laboratory 1 getting into a sneaky spot, trying to pick off some of the fire support here. And then Cutest Princess needs to just, like, full-on send of these tanks somewhere. He's going to take casualties during an offensive, but if he kills that one Leclerc, he's in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'd be better, but so we're at 8 minutes left. He's down over 200. I mean, here comes SU-27 trying to dive in here on this 2A1, and we'll get the kill. So nice little kill. And he also brought a seed. But he's buying things that can't take territory. I think that's the biggest problem here. Like, there's an SU-24 been brought out, another T-72B. Like, I don't think he needs more tanks.
Oh, he's kind of...
There's going to be 2 more Bs altogether.
He's kind of fallen into the classic, like, Wargame Red Dragon Soviet trap of trying to buy all, like, the super heavy, you know, powerhouse units, rather than just getting, you know, basic cheap stuff to hold ground.
Yeah, and then he's going to buy one more BTR-80 squad there, or BTR-80, yeah, with Spetsnaz in it, one BTRD with one squad of EDV, and it's just, you know, you ask yourself at the end of the day, like, why am I unable to take this town? Well, large part is you never sent more than 10 dudes at it.
Yeah. And that town is pretty well defended now. It's Panzergrenadiers and legions galore. Now, Milan F3 getting into a good position that can ward off a lot of APCs coming up.
Yeah, Milan 3 is in a good spot. There's Panzergrens holding the town. Commandus Para moving up. He's able to Stark's been able to resupply it pretty well. Those pairs are spotted, then they're going to just get blapped. Yeah. Jurgen's going to fire here again in a second, but it hasn't really done anything, Ring. Like we talked about a little earlier. He has to, I think because of the size and the minimum distance, Jurgen has to he keeps having to pull it all the way back there, I believe. I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but that's what I imagine he's doing.
I think that's the case. That's definitely more of like a team game unit. And the team game maps are quite a bit larger.
So these 2A1s have pushed up and they've been caught in the open here by the armor. T-72B is going to go ahead. Oh, they both miss. Really lucky there for the 2A1s. They are banged up, though. The Leclerc's also banged up as well. F4F gets a hit on the SU-27M. But he needs to watch out. Oh, but MiG-25s are diving in here, so the air battle is going on. But the Raphael turns. Oh, he still gets the kill, but he has been hit.
Yep. That's going to force him to evac.
But the F4 is going to commit.
God, F4
and so
is
both
just
planes
like War Thunder.
It is like War Thunder. That's how I feel in my MiG-23 every time I try and fly. F4 just dived in right there, even took the hit from the missile and still gets the kill.
Oh, one T-64 goes down.
Yeah, Leclerc is really banged up here, but now there's Milan teams inside this town here. We see missiles are away. First one I think is going for the the BU right there. Gets a big hit on the BU. It's down to 1 HP. Yep, another missile coming out here. We'll see if it's able to... this one's probably going for the B. Oh, no, it's... Yeah, he's trying to... Yeah, it just barely misses. Or not barely, just misses.
We've got, I think, pretty much the last big hurrah attack here of the infantry coming in the BTR-80s.
Yeah, Milan goes and kills an empty BTRD. But there's already infantry in the back line here to reinforce. I mean, there's no infantry take. Oh, there's one Spetsnaz squad. Excuse me. Now pushing up here. Let's see if it's actually able to. Oh, the Chasseurs are been spotted in their AMX-13s. So Grumpy Snark either needs to dismount them or move them up. There's a hat in the back that he could bring up as well. Grumpy Snark, if you wanted to, help out with the armor here a little bit. It's okay.
Just a lone 10-man attacks like every single time.
Yeah, that's probably the fourth or fifth time we've seen that. The Biz dives in, gets annihilated there by the Kratal. SQ-24 looking for something, and it gets picked off too by another Kratal. 2 planes back to back, and that's actually 4 planes in the past 3 minutes that have gone down for Cutest Princess.
Yeah. Oh, now the Clark's in a great position there. It's not so much for fighting off enemy tanks, but just very good fly support, hidden by the forest, really denying the T-72 to just come in and blap it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see here, Cutest Princess, I mean, he's continuing, but this game is over, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much over.
At 338 over 30, yeah, it's just he's 300 points ahead. There is a command G being called out for Cutest Princess here, but even if it could get in there, all you do is stop the tick.
Good smoke on Leclerc. Really good micro on that Leclerc. He's meant to keep it alive against so much scary Soviet armor.
Yeah, absolutely. He's done a very good job, Grumpy Snark, of keeping his Leclerc alive. He's pushing up here. He's getting very aggressive with it. He needs to be a little careful because there is a BV right there. And
right when you said... Right as reappraising the Leclerc micro, he just goes and gets you killed.
Yeah, we were really trying to hype him up right there, but the Leclerc goes down. And instead, Grumpy Snark's going to call out 4 2A1s. He has that much of a point bank right now. Wow.
That's pretty nuts.
That is crazy. And the SC-27M's coming back out, but there's really nothing for it to kill.
No.
Tiger PH shoots in the Tiger Hat, both pushing up here now as well. There is a buck in one, but that's it.
Yeah. And the Soviet armor is in a good position now. His man's a force back Grumpy from the town, but with 2 minutes left, it's not really going to matter.
Yeah, it's like we say in show business, Ring. Too little, too late.
Yep.
There's just no way. There's just no way for it to make it, a real presence here on the battlefield. BRDM going down. Yeah, more AMX 1390s being called out to support the infantry in the town, but it really doesn't matter here with 2 minutes left. I mean, there's some more infantry coming, but he's still Cutest Princess, just buying them in groups of 1. And constantly sitting them forward has really hurt his ability to win this game.
It's because all his infantry are quite expensive as well. Like, his cheapest run of VDV-90s, which, honestly, for a lot of Soviet players is kind of true, because a lot of people don't like buying models directly. But, you need to get them in bloody bigger groups. Honestly, I'm not, a huge... I quite like using just, basic models directly in the 5-point transport. They're not great infantry, but when you are just using them as bodies to hold towns, they're not bad.
No, I agree too. I think having some type of 20-point infantry squad is really important. And I take, in my Soviet deck, I take 2 cards of VDV-90. I'm all about the VDV-90. But,
going hot.
Yeah, Rafael going in right there. The buck is going to open up, though, here. Oh, but they end up trading. Wow. Actually, kind of worth for Grumpy Snark.
Yeah, and T-72B getting absolutely blapped. Really just down to the BUs. And there's not really much for the... Oh, can kill Aperture A1s.
Yeah, the smoke keeps getting dropped on one spot there. AMX-13 actually getting a shot into the... As these 2A1s run the... why not just drop the smoke on your 2A1 directly instead of pushing your 2A1 to the smoke?
Yeah. Let the smoke come to you.
Yes, let the smoke come to you, young Padawan. But yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Yep. I mean, I guess Cutest Princess can tell us later that he got the town. His 10-man strategy worked, and eventually taking control of it, but it cost him the game, right?
It did. It's just, yeah, it's really just the infantry play screwed him up quite heavily in that matchup, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, their KD extremely close between the two of them.
I think a lot of that's probably towards the end, where he managed to pick off quite a lot of the Eurocore armored units.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, very good job to Grumpy Snark, just being able to hold on to that bloody town. Like, you know, good Leclerc micro before it got blapped.
Yeah, the Leclerc was doing really well. It lasted a long period of time. The 2A1s kind of got chewed up a lot, but he was kind of having them directly engage T-72BUs, which isn't how you want to necessarily use your, 2A1s.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he ended up, he held the town for a long period of time, grinded out a bunch of infantry, negated the airplay to a large extent that Cutest Princess wanted to get into, and Grumpy Snark ends up getting the W.
Yeah, and this is very good use or, example of, like, good map control. And that even just bringing out, like, super heavy tanks, of course, are quite scary, but you're still quite scared using them, because you might lose them. Even with the Peace Range down as ATGMs, Legion 90s, one Leclerc could have been bloody anywhere. You get really limited his ability to use his tanks, and that's just so much points wasted not doing anything and just sitting back doing nothing.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And then just a loss of some critical units early in the match, I think, also really hurt Cutest Princess. Like losing SU-25 for no real, one Crotal, that's not worth it. Losing his K-52 for no gain, and the T-80 UK, as we saw, got blapped.
Just take some cheaper spam units.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I would totally recommend that as well.
Indeed. But, yeah, thank you very much once again, Graham, for joining me on another lovely replay.
No, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on, Ray.
And as usual, guys, please just take it easy.